You have 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them in that ratio. You want to be there to listen and observe and to learn from other people. The person who's doing the most talking at a party, maybe they're the ones who are the host of the party or the VIPs or, at a showcase, they're maybe the casting directors. Let it be about them. I'm Krista Parkinson, and you're listening to the My Grads Get Jobs podcast, where I talk to entertainment industry professionals about what they do, how they do it, and how my grads can do it too. Season 2 is proudly brought to you by Variety Business Intelligence, home of Variety Insight, V-Score, and the Variety Archives. If you're looking to work in Hollywood, Variety Insight is absolutely essential. I depend on it every day to provide me with the most up-to-date listings of contacts, companies, and projects in development. Head to MyGradsGetJobs.com/variety to learn more and take advantage of their very generous student rates. Recently, I was a guest speaker at UCLA, where I spoke in great detail about one of the most essential skills required to launch, build, and maintain a successful career: networking. And based on the number of emails I receive about networking, it's easily the most misunderstood skill amongst 20-somethings looking to work in entertainment. After listening to this 15-minute podcast, though, I'm pretty sure you'll be well on your way to becoming a true networking ninja. So let's talk about networking for a minute. What networking is and what it isn't. Networking is not handing out your business card at a social event. I think of it as the art of making meaningful connections. And this art of making a meaningful connection is both to give and to receive help. Professional help, personal help, but I want you to see that it's a back and forth relationship. It is not one-sided. This is not a one-time event. This is something, it's like working out at the gym, okay? You don't just go once and get a great workout and that's it. You have to keep it up in order to have a healthy, strong body. So I want to give you just some tips about what you can do in different networking situations. So my first tip is always enter a warm room. We've all heard of a cold call, like when you call an office without knowing anybody there, right? Well, a warm call or a warm introduction is when a friend will introduce you to a stranger, or when you have a little bit more of a background or knowledge about somebody before you walk in. So let's take today, for example. I didn't go to UCLA. I don't know anything about UCLA. Judy and I got connected over the phone. We've never met before. But before walking into this situation, I wanted to know a little bit about her. So I didn't want to go into a room of strangers. And so what I did was I looked up her social media. When I started following her on Instagram, but I know you don't use it.
Nope.
Because you have, I think, 1 post and 4 followers. I'm your 4th follower today. So I know.
No. So
I know she's not into it, which is totally fine.
No,
So I couldn't find common friends on Facebook. So I tried Instagram. Facebook, so I didn't have any friends. But of course, I know she teaches at UCLA, so I looked up and I had the UCLA page, so I read her bio. I also looked up on IMDb to get her credits, and so I saw some projects, but I was like, I know there's more on her. So I looked up, I think, the best website in all of Hollywood. It's called Variety Insight. It's a subscription model. I'm probably going to be doing something on my site in conjunction with them because it's so good. So I looked up Judy on Variety Insight, and this is what I got. It was the longest list of credits I have ever seen. I said, this woman is experienced, and she happens to have worked on some of my favorite shows. Parenthood, Blackish, CSI Cyber was a show that in my former life, at my finance job, we were a part of. But what they did on Variety Insight that I found valuable is that they put her picture on there, but they gave me her profile of who she's represented by. And again, I see this through the lens of representation because that was my background. So I see her agency is House of Representatives. They have 2 agents that are listed with links to the email. I see their commercial agency is Abrams Artist. I've got 3 people to talk to. Management is Main Title Entertainment. This is an amazing site. So I was able to comb through and see a little bit more info. As part of networking, I wanted to enter a warm room. So I found some warmth in that going, I'm going to like her. Just based on what I saw online, I'm like, I'm going to like her. And this, by the way, this is a beautiful picture of you.
Oh, thank you. That's my current headshot.
It's stunning. I'm like, no wonder you work all the time. So whenever
the
I'm...
The room is officially warm.
Yeah. So what's great about that is, again, when I was combing through, I was looking for commonalities. because I want to be able to talk to her about something.
Yeah.
I see that Oxford is on her bio. Well, I did study abroad when I was in London, and we did, punting on Oxford. So I had a little bit of that background. UCLA. I have a commonality at UCLA because my grandmother, she was a UCLA graduate, and for a woman of that, during that time, to be a college graduate was a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle had his medical school residency here at UCLA. So I have such a warmth and an affinity already for UCLA. So again, the lesson on that is enter a warm room. Another rule I have for you is it's better to receive than to give in a networking situation. And what I'm talking about here is it's better to receive a business card than to give one. The reason why I say this is because you have the power in your hands to follow up. You have their email address, you have their website, you have their phone number, you have the ability, and you have their title. You're going to go to these events and you're going to say, I met somebody from Paramount. But then you might see their title that they're in the home video department, which has nothing to do with what you want to do. It might not serve you, but it gives you a place to say, okay, well, if I need to know somebody in that department one day, I know who they are and what they do. Or you meet somebody in casting somewhere, and you want to know what level are they. Are they director? Are they a VP? Are they a senior VP? Are they an EVP? Are they president of the organization? That's important for you because it will show you how you need to interact with them in the future. I want to share a story with you. I was teaching at USC, and I brought in a digital mogul. He's a good friend of mine, and now he's got a company that employs 600 people around the world, and he's a genius brain, electric energy, and he came to talk to my students about the tech world and how they could fit in it. At the end of his presentation, everybody was gathered around, wanting to talk, connect, ask questions, which you should always do, by the way. Always get to know the speaker wherever you are, introduce yourself. Well, I'm over talking to a group of about 5 students, and my back was toward the guest speaker, who was talking to a group of about 5 students as well. And like a mother who hears a baby from 3 rooms over, I heard this behind me. Thank you so much for the opportunity here. It was so great to meet with you. Can I give you my business card? Can you call me to set up lunch? I intercepted the card before it met my friend's hand. I said, no. This is not happening. And I said, everybody who is in earshot. Guys, my friend here is a big shot. He doesn't need you. You need him. So if you need him, you need to do the work, which means you need to send the email to follow up. He's not calling you. I said, what were you going to do with this business card? You were going to tear it up. And he started to laugh. He goes, yeah, I'd probably just throw it away. I said, see what I'm talking about? You do not want to give somebody your business card because, with all due respect, you're not important yet. For example, if I'm going to an event and I see Bob Iger, who's the chairman of Disney, and I gave him my card, how foolish. He doesn't know me. He's not going to care, and he's certainly not going to follow up with me. But if I had a reason to talk to him, and if he said something during a speaking engagement that I thought that maybe I could help him or somehow be of benefit to him, I would go up to Mr. Iger and I would introduce myself. I would say what my request is and I would ask for a business card. And I would follow up with a polite email. So again, I want you to keep in mind, it is better to receive than to give a business card. Here's another tip. You have 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them in that ratio. You want to be there to listen and observe and to learn from other people. If the person who's doing the most talking at a party, maybe they're the ones who are the host of the party or the VIPs or, at a showcase, they're maybe the casting directors. Let it be about them. Many years ago, I spoke at USC before I was a teacher there, and I had a student sitting in the very front row in a bright red shirt who asked a lot of questions, and he really wanted to work in an agency. So he probably asked 3 or 4 questions within a 2-hour period, and so I ended up calling him Mr. CAA. And at the end of the event, he came up to me and he shook my hand and he wanted to talk with me. And I said, I really can't talk. I've got to run to the car right now, but you're welcome to walk with me. He said, yes, please. So not only did he walk with me, he took my bags, we started chit-chatting, and he asked all about me. Any guest speaker loves to talk about themselves. So this guy did exactly that. He listened to my stories and he had something to say. Well, because he paid attention to me, I wanted to know more about him. And I asked him where he was working. He said he worked at Baskin Robbins. And I said, oh my gosh, my favorite ice cream flavors are at Baskin Robbins. He said, what do you like? And I said, I love peanut butter and chocolate and pralines and cream. Those are my two favorite flavors. He goes, oh, peanut butter and chocolate's my favorite flavor. So we ended up bonding over something so simple and dumb as ice cream. He smartly made sure to take a business card of mine, and he emailed me a couple days later. He didn't do it right away, which I have to tell you I appreciated. He gave it time to breathe a little bit. And the email was very simple. Hi, Krista. Thank you for speaking at USC today. I was the guy in the red shirt, Mr. CAA, so he reminded me who he was. He said, I'm really looking to work at a talent agency, and I'm wondering when it comes time, could I ask for some advice on how to do it? And I said, sure. Because it was pleasant, it was polite, and he wasn't asking me to do something right away. So a few weeks later, he said he wanted to call me. He loves dancing, and he wanted to work at an agency. And so anyway, before you know it, I ended up making an introduction to him, or for him, with a talent agency that represents choreographers. Turns out he ended up getting an internship there. And as a thank you, you know what he did? This is my favorite thank you gift, I think, ever. I came back to my office a couple weeks later, and there was a dry ice container of peanut butter and chocolate ice cream from Baskin Robbins with a heartfelt note. And it wasn't so much that he gave me a gift, it was the thought that went behind it. I have a belief, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe that most people want to help other people. The challenge is when you ask somebody to help and you don't have an answer for them, it puts the person in an awkward position. This is why I'm very against just sending out your reels and your headshots to just everybody. I do not believe in the shotgun approach. I believe that if I am an actor or director or producer, whatever career I want to have in Hollywood, I feel like you need to target your top 10. And it starts all from passion. I like to think about getting an agent like dating in the 1950s. In the 50s, the boy asked the girl to prom. And so the girl has to be as attractive as possible because, again, the power was not in her hands back in the 50s to do the asking. She does the receiving of the invitation. So she makes herself attractive. She puts on a pretty dress, she puts on lipstick, she has a nice personality, she's affable and she smiles, and she receives offers to go to prom. Let's say she has 3 different boys asking her to the prom. She accepts one of them, and off she goes and has a great experience. I liken this to how it is to get an agent. The artist is the girl, and the agent is the boy. The agent does the asking. You want an agent to track you down. You want an agent to be interested in you, but you've got to be attractive to an agent. Do you want me to tell you how you get attractive to an agent?
Please.
Well, what you do is you work. An agent is attracted to money, okay? And I can only speak for the big agencies right now. And again, when I was an agent, we didn't want a client who made less than $250,000 a year. So unless you're making $250,000 a year, you're not going to get a CAA, a WME, ICM, UTA, some of the bigger agencies to care about you. They're interested in allocating their time to something that's going to bring forth fruit. So if you don't have a track record for already making money, they're not going to be interested. So I want you to set your sights away from the big agencies right now, okay? Because you want to be asked to prom. The way you get asked is by saying yes again and again and again. You might get lucky and you might get hip-pocketed by somebody. But in this case, you want an agent to pursue you. You want them to be interested in the area of television or film or the digital realm that you're interested in. And in order to ensure some kind of success, you have to have that passion driving it. Now, there are smaller agencies and where you will make less than $250, and that's fine. Everybody's broke in the beginning. Nobody makes money in the beginning. So in the beginning, you got to generate your own work. You perform in plays. You perform probably in a lot of student films. And, that helps to get more on your resume. That's what you can do to start to become more attractive to a talent agent. The second thing that makes you attractive to a talent agent is your talent and your ability. The third thing, and this is something you can all control, is your personality. If an agent likes you, they're not going to care that you're not making money yet. And if an agent knows that you're not going to be high maintenance and calling every 5 seconds, or when you get on the phone with an agent, you can't take more than 5 minutes. Keep it as the 5-minute rule in the very beginning. These people are not your friends. They're friendly. So you don't want to tell them about all of your activities that you're doing or every thought and nuance that comes into your head. That's what you have friends for. It's great, especially in the beginning, to keep that pretty clear line that these are people that are working for you. To get those people interested in you, you got to generate your own material. So if you're working on a project that's being submitted to film festivals, make sure to pump that out on your social media. If you've got friends of influence, make sure that people know about it. I have a monthly GOT list because my company is MyGradsGetJobs. I highlight my grads who got jobs in the last month. For example, I've got 2 of my grads just got accepted to the Berlin Film Festival. One was an actress and one was the director and producer. So what am I going to do? I'm pumping that out on my social media channel and on my platform because I do have agents and managers and people paying attention to it because it's not just people looking for jobs in my community. So make sure that you pump it out to people who are social media influencers or have the ability to support your work. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to drop me a line or leave a review on iTunes. I'd love to hear from you. That's it for this week. I'll see you on the next episode of the My Grads Get Jobs podcast.